So, you're taking on IGCSE Additional Mathematics? That's a fantastic choice, but yeah, it can seem a little intimidating. Well, you're in the right place. In this explainer, we're going to break down the entire 0606 syllabus into a super clear and simple roadmap. The goal? To help you navigate your mathematical journey with a whole lot more confidence. Let's get right into it.
You know, when you first open up that syllabus guide, it can look like, well, a random jumble of complicated topics. You've got functions over here, trigonometry over there, and then this thing called calculus. It's totally normal to feel a bit overwhelmed.
But here's the thing. What if I told you that all those 14 topics are actually connected? That there's a logical, even an elegant structure holding it all together? That's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to reveal that structure and give you a clear path to mastering IGCSE Additional Mathematics.
So how do we make sense of it all? Simple. We're going to group everything into 4 pillars. Just think of these as the main building blocks of your course: the language, the shape, the logic, and the motion of mathematics. This framework is going to help you connect all the dots.
Okay, so our first pillar, this one's all about the fundamental language of mathematics. This is your essential toolkit. It gives you the grammar and the vocabulary you'll need to build up and break down complex problems. Seriously, getting this part down is absolutely the key to unlocking everything else in the syllabus.
So what's in this toolkit? I'm talking about the real heavy hitters, you know? Things like functions, quadratics, and polynomials. We'll also dive deep into all kinds of equations and graphs. And that includes the pretty fascinating world of logarithms and their cousins, exponential functions. Go ahead, take a look at the list. Getting comfortable with these will give you the fluency you need to confidently speak the language of advanced math.
And at the very heart of it all is the idea of a function. It's actually a really simple but powerful concept. It's just a consistent rule that turns an input into a single unique output. The machine analogy is perfect. You put an x in, a specific rule gets applied, and you get a y out. This concept is the building block for so much of what's coming next.
All right, let's move on to our second pillar, the shape of mathematics. This is where it gets really cool, because we take all that language of algebra we just talked about, and we use it to describe the world of shapes, space, and angles.
So in this section, you're going to cover everything from straight lines and circles on a graph, all the way to the deep relationships between angles and lengths that you find in trigonometry. It's all about making those abstract ideas something you can actually see and measure. Now, a big concept here is radians. Don't let the name scare you. We're all used to measuring angles in degrees, right? 360 degrees in a circle? Well, radians are just a different, more natural way to do it for advanced math. But why bother? Well, it's because radians have this neat trick of directly linking a circle's radius to the length of its arc, which makes a ton of advanced formulas way simpler. Think of it like switching to a unit of measurement that's just perfectly designed for the job.
And that brings us to pillar 3, the logic of mathematics. Here, we're shifting gears a little. It's less about physical shapes and way more about discovering the hidden rules and patterns that govern numbers. We're talking about structure, order, and, how things are arranged.
This pillar is built on 2 super powerful topics. First, permutations and combinations, which is basically the math of arranging and selecting things. And second, series, which is all about studying the patterns and sequences of numbers, like arithmetic and geometric progressions.
So what's the big deal here? It's really all about understanding one crucial difference: permutations versus combinations. Think about it. In a race, the order you finish definitely matters, right? First, second, third. That's a permutation. But if you're just picking 3 people for a team, it doesn't matter who you picked first. All that matters is who's on the team. That's a combination. Getting that one distinction down is the key.
And here we are, our 4th and final pillar, and honestly, it's the most dynamic one: the motion of mathematics. This is where everything you've learned so far, the language, the shapes, the logic, all comes together to describe change, rates, and movement. This is where math literally comes to life.
This whole section is basically built around 2 of the most exciting topics in the entire syllabus: vectors, which let us describe things that have both a size and a direction, and the real star of the show, calculus, the mathematics of change.
Okay, and this is where the real magic happens. Calculus tells this incredible story of motion. You start with an object's position, right? Its displacement. You differentiate once, bam! You've got its velocity, how fast it's going. Differentiate again, and you find its acceleration. But the real mind blower? That's integration. It's like a time machine that lets you travel right back up those steps. It's this perfectly balanced, beautiful system that actually describes the universe in motion. How cool is that?
So, there you have it. What probably looked like a long, random list of topics now has a clear structure, right? You're on a journey, moving through these 4 pillars of mathematics.
Let's just quickly recap. You start by learning the language, that's your algebra. Then you use that to describe the shape of things with geometry. Next, you explore the underlying logic of patterns and arrangements. And finally, you put it all together to understand the dynamic world of motion with calculus. See how it works? Each pillar builds on the one before it, creating this really powerful, connected understanding of mathematics.
When you see the syllabus this way, it stops being a list of things to memorize and becomes a story about building your knowledge. Each topic is a new tool for your toolkit, and by the end, you'll have a complete set of tools to analyze and solve some incredibly complex problems. So, the only question left is, are you ready to start building?
Fundoo Tutor is a personalized learning platform that helps students succeed in Cambridge, IB, and other international curriculums with expert mentorship, structured learning support, and engaging resources.